And one of the things that I find interesting about Synapse is that, much like a lot of the ideas that I have, it's about leveraging power across the group, across sort of the multitude of stakeholders to maximize the impact. And so you're doing like 3 or 4 different things at once.
A lot more than that.
Yeah.
There's a lot of stuff
But,
going on.
like within the model
Right.
of Synapse, there's just this amplifier effect. And so before we kind of get into the logistics of how Synapse works, I want to maybe ask you why has Synapse been successful from your point of view?
Well, success is one of those loose terms. So it's like, some would argue it hasn't yet really been successful. But my point would always be it has created some insane stories. The ripple effects that we've started through this process are making waves in ways that people could never have predicted. And that's something that a lot of people don't pick up on, because in networking, you're almost looking for that instant gratification. I want to know I went to a meeting and I got business and boom, there's value. But a lot of this stuff is like, oh, that moment changed somebody's mind. That moment sparked a new connection. That moment just led to a new business getting started. Somebody realizing that that job they need is in the nonprofit space, when before they didn't even think that was a possibility, right? I mean, we've had people literally meet in meetings, and now they're families with kids, and it just shows again, just the true value is just showing up and accepting that value is not just in this or that. It's everything that can come out of opportunities when you just have an open mind and you're willing to be vulnerable, as you said earlier, share a little bit more of yourself. And the stories, I guess you're asking kind of about kind of successes and things of that nature. A lot of this is really just based on people being more aware of the nonprofit space and what they do and how it works. Because we all know people in our lives, neighbors, family members, friends, clients that might one day need those services. They might need the resource that is the nonprofit. And I found that just the more these networking types of people in our communities, community-minded professionals, are aware of all these different organizations and what they do to serve people in our communities, then they can help connect those dots. They can help bridge that gap, and they can help those people that really need those services to actually get to them and get what they need, rather than that, potentially never picking up the phone, never acting on it. So it's been powerful to see how those things are really impactful with people. Just being able to spread the word, and it's exponential.
So as an introvert, or extreme introvert, as you describe yourself, what would you say the value of social connection is for you as an individual and for your professional life?
It's everything. It can give you a lot of purpose if you aren't just focused on what you can get out of it from a monetary standpoint, and you can focus on just, what you can learn from others, what can inspire you, what can really change your mind or give you something new to think about or focus on. And there's so much value in that. But also, I think you can be inspired by other people that have a similar energy and attitude and outlook on life, that just want to do something more than just sell stuff. They want to make an impact. They really want to help change the world for the better. And when you're just around people like that consistently, when you feel their energy, feed off of it, you collaborate, you support one another, that's empowering, and it's a powerful thing. So I think that's huge, just for people to kind of feed off that and realize how that can strengthen you in whatever it is you care to do, whatever it is you're about. But just being around those types of people, and you've heard it before, just surround yourself with a bunch of good people. That's really what we should all try to do,
Well, so you wouldn't have 40 groups of people meeting up on a regular basis and devoting their time for just the feel good of it all. So there must be some business that happens in these things. Tell me a little bit about that. Kind of what point during participation do people start to kind of make those connections and find those opportunities?
It's different for everybody. And our model is based on kind of this whole well-rounded perspective of who you are as an individual. So instead of somebody coming into a meeting as an insurance guy or as the radio guy, it's more like, no, that's Big Mike. He's like this community-minded professional, that's just all about so many different things. So instead of people giving an elevator speech and sharing specifically what they're trying to sell or what they can do to serve a business, it's a little of that, certainly, but it's also your hobbies, your interests, your passions, things that, maybe side projects, things that make you who you are, right? That make you tick. And I always say that opens up more opportunity, because many of us who have been to networking types of events, sometimes it's like, oh, another real estate agent. I already know a million real estate agents. I already have my friends that I would refer to. I don't see a value in getting to know another real estate agent. But if that real estate agent shares something more personal and shares a little bit more to their story, then all of a sudden, instead of them just being a real estate agent, they're a real estate agent that loves the Baltimore Ravens. Well, so do I. So now I really want to get to know that particular individual. And I don't think of them as a profession. I think of them as a person that I have something in common with. So that's a big part of the model, is letting people really realize that instead of focusing on what you can do just business wise, if you can connect as humans for things that you have in common, that can open a lot of business opportunities and